Hey everybody. Hello, hello beautiful people. It's Margarita again. On this wonderful cold January day, January 16th, well into the new year, and looking at so many different things that I've been doing on my journey, the anti-cancer journey, because we're not going to use their language, the path that I've taken, and it's been incredibly soul searching. It's incredibly taxing on you mentally, physically, spiritually, but it's been so amazing. And I gotta tell you guys, if you want to get back to your top health, your top vitality, you need to look at your bodies and how they were designed. Biochemistry, okay? What side of chemistry do you want to live on? And there are, if anyone studied chemistry at school, you know that there are two sides. The alkaline or the base side of chemistry, or the acid side of chemistry. And so a lot of people, myself included, have been living on the acid side. Even though I was vegan, even though I was vegetarian before that for many, many, many years, I was eating a lot of beans, eating a lot of tofu products, soy protein isolate. Whoa, big time no-no. All of those protein isolates that they put into the mock chicken, the mock fish, the mock meatballs, all of those vegan soy-based products are so acid-based as well. Like I never knew. And dealing with the stomach tumor has been a journey. Telling you, when I let go of that allopathic doctor world, that didn't want to treat me for the cause of what happened to me, and never even wanted to tell me what it was, just that it was, H. pylori, this is what happened. Never discussed the fact that it was genetically based, that it was the dietary based, doctors and hospitals, oncologists, man, he wanted to put me on a Pediasure. Let's talk about nutrition here. He wanted to put me on a Pediasure to put on some weight. And I said, doctor, aren't there a lot of chemicals and sugars and preservatives in that? Yeah, there were. Isn't there a milk product, and you know that I'm vegan? Yes. So, try some almond milk instead. So the kind of advice, the kind of idiotic advice you're gonna get from doctors, it's quite shocking. And whether it be ignorance or it's narcissism, egos getting in the way. Like I told you, the guy who was the doctor in charge of the trials, the clinical trials at the Princess Margaret, asking me what I wanted to eat. What do I crave? What am I craving right now? And that was just a few months ago. That was just in August. What am I craving? I said, well, I'm craving some vegan pizza. I really wouldn't like that. I'm thinking about it sometimes. Go on and eat it. Go on out and have it. And I said, are you sure that's a great idea? And that's when I really had that frustrating moment with the surgeon at the same time, and I really went on my rant and my rave with this doctor, the trial doctor, about the surgeon. And the nurse tells me, well, you know what, just go on ahead and get that surgery done. Go on and get it. Just go on and never get off that table and never have to see him again. I'm like, you're saying go ahead with the surgery? Yeah, go and do it. I know you don't like this, what's going on. You don't like what, the procedure, the methods that he talked about. But you'll never have to see him again after the surgery. I'm like, wow, so you are actually telling me I'm going to have to go ahead with this when I just described to you what he was about to do. Cut me open and, touch my tumor, touch it with any tools, like I told you in the recent, previous videos. You're touching a tumor. That is a sac filled with damaged cells. Okay? Dead cells maybe, but damaged cells. And you don't want to be touching that with any sharp instrument. I had 3 biopsies done, and I was not happy with the fact that that was done. Particularly on one occasion, that was done without my permission. The 2 gastroenterologists and the 1 surgeon who had done that, that's the biggest danger. And I had that done, and those dead cells or damaged cells are floating around your body. You've had surgery. That's what's happening. If you've had chemo, like I did, it's what's happening. They're damaging healthy cells as well, and they're traveling through your body because the chemo corrosive chemicals are going directly into my heart, pumping them right out to the rest of my body. That's done already. That's gone. Look at that. Beautiful. How it's healing up. No scar tissue whatsoever. It was in me for about 3 months. And I don't know if you can see it with this light. Got it removed in the late September on my request. Of course, Princess Margaret did not want to remove it for me. It made it extremely, extremely difficult for me to get that procedure done in a timely fashion, and dragged their feet, kept on telling me to go to another person. I'll get a call from this person. That person will call me then that person will call me back. And at first they were appearing to be, at least to my GP, were being cooperative, but they don't want to lose you as a customer, and they were losing me as a customer. So suddenly, we don't care about you, and we're not going to make things easy for you because you went against medical advice. You know what medical advice does? It gets you sick again and again and again. You get those you call them remissions, but you get those recurrences right away. Sometimes you might wait a few years for them, but you're going to get those relapses. And what are they treating? What is the medical community actually treating? They're treating symptoms. No one ever talked about what I have to do to get myself well and never have the problem again, and what caused it in the first place. Suppositions, there were theories, there were hypotheses, but they were never really giving me the answer that I wanted until I started seeing a detox specialist here. And so until I learned about Robert Morse, Dr. Morse, naturopath, master healer, herbalist, he's and his colleagues, and Dr. Brandt. I told you about the grape cure. Of course, she's no longer with us. She cured herself of stomach cancer back in the 1920s, revolutionary times. When people were all over the world were getting, maybe not all over the world depending on diets, but especially the Western world, were getting sick with cancer. Back then they were classifying them already. They were giving them all these classifications. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. They were like classifying every lump and bump that you had and putting people into the fear of death. And most of the people did, because there was no looking at the underlying causes. No one in that allopathic community ever cared to look into and demonstrate that they could cure the underlying causes of these tumors and cysts. I went to 2 parties this past weekend. My brother-in-law turning 60, sitting beside my niece, who still arguing with me that giant cyst, she likes to call it cyst, is all it was. And I had a couple of other people there talking with me about the health issues, and they were very interested in the topics that I was discussing, but it really hit a nerve with a lot of people, and they were talking about that is true, that the way that they prescribe pharmaceuticals is crazy. They're just writing scripts left, right, and center, writing a script. Let's treat a symptom, left, right, and center. Let's suppress a symptom. We don't know the cause, but let's suppress the pain. Let's suppress the inflammation. Let's suppress this organ from producing, for my case, stomach acid. Really, 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 really just caught into that vicious cycle of you're going to be the next big pharma customer. Okay, and my niece still arguing with me that it was just a cyst. It was not a tumor. It was a cyst. Lumps and bumps, ladies and gentlemen. Lumps and bumps. It does not matter what name they give it. It is serious. And they're not even going to tell her what happened, how she got it, what she needs to do to change her life to prevent it from happening again, i.e. diet, right? That you're living on the acid side of life. She's eating chicken. She's eating cheeses, which is mucus, cooked foods, I mean chips and candies and chocolate, all acid-forming foods traveling through her body day in and day out. And what are we doing about the lymphatic system? How has that been blocked and stagnated? That's your immune system. That's your lipid-based system that is trying to get these toxins and wastes and acids out of your body until it gets overloaded. I mean, if that's all you to survive on, right? They're trying to get that out of your body and filtering through your kidneys. Kidneys are your life force. You don't have functioning kidneys. What have you got, right? People, I am on day 28 of my raw food diet. It was through the holidays, so I'm pretty proud of that. 4, maybe 5 days I had a cheat. That was mainly the steamed vegetable, like lightly steamed veg, or cooked squash, portobello mushroom. So really like low on the cheats. I was going quite well, considering, right, 28 days and through the holidays and all those temptations and all these parties and all these dinners and dinner parties and then these snacks on the table, and like over this past weekend having to go to 2 birthday parties back to back. I stayed far away, like clear of the food serving table and just not stay in my world. Just keep out of that, and stay true, stay pure. And bring my grapes with me wherever I go. These are amazing grapes, by the way. We've actually been reduced to going to the food terminal once a week. Food terminal is like where the produce comes in from around the world, from this province, and we want to get large amounts of things. So we have been going to the food terminal and getting these beautiful grapes. Green grapes are in the fridge. The red grapes, they're super crunchy. These massive purple like globes. By the way, I'll show you them. A lot of seeds in them. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also on day 8 of my grape diet as well. So I've gone a little bit stricter the last 8 days, which is why we need a variety, so I can keep on enjoying grapes and different kinds of grapes. So there's lots of good textures and different flavors to the grapes, with seeds or without seeds. If you've got the seeds and you really want the astringency to be higher up, chew those seeds up really well. I'm chewing the skins really well. I'm getting my hydration. I don't have to drink any water. And all day long I have no water. I'm getting everything I need from the grape. I'm getting my carbons from the grape. I'm getting my stringency from the grape. I'm getting my minerals. I'm getting my vitamins. Electricity, like it's so electric, the feeling I'm getting. Like sometimes I'm eating some grapes and my heart just starts racing. Like it's so powerful. Just getting everything moving so much faster inside me, flushing and flushing and flushing. My urine testing is going super well. I can see a lot of sediment. I can see a lot of waste coming out through my urine. If you're having any problems with your mouth, like sometimes I have, and I've had really bad problems with my teeth and my gums, my receding gums, to Also, you can test your pH level in your mouth. So that's a pH strip paper and the coating. And I did my testing just recently. I put it in, just fill up some saliva in your mouth and put it into a small cup and dip one of these in and match it up. And I'm literally like at, this was a few minutes ago, but it was at 8.0, very alkaline. So doing that periodically too, just testing your saliva and making sure that it is also alkaline, and keeping yourself sort of just abreast of that, and you know that things are working really well and working in my favor. Start my morning with this great Concord grape juice, always organic. There are different brands out there, so we've tried 3 different brands, but we don't really care which one, as long as they're Concord grape, as long as they're organic. So I start my day with this, with my herbals, as you know, and I end my day with this, with my herbal tinctures as well, just for the supporting the structure, structure and function of all my systems inside my body. So day 8 on the grape diet has been very rough. It's been kind of testing me, because it really starts to pull and tear out the hardened, the mucus from my stomach, and that's where my weakened area is. Genetically weakened, diet weakened. It has been forming for years, people. So, you can't lose sight of the fact that it took this long. It could have been in there for 20 years or more. I know one, at least slightly enlightened gastroenterologist said, I probably had this bacteria through the breast milk. So it was in there for your entire life. You were fed the wrong foods, and then you ate the wrong foods for your entire life, and it's been going on for maybe as long as you've been alive. So not maybe 20 years, could have been 46 years, right? You never know. And taking that fact into consideration, I really have to have more patience with the fact that it's going to be a while. You've got to have patience with the process. It's going to take a very long time for your body to get cleansed out. I'm not on any medication. I am probably not completely detoxed, even though I've been off the chemo radiation for 6 months. But it has to take, it's not even 6 months, right? Yeah, 4 months. So 4 months it's been since I've been off the toxic crap that they were trying to put in me, and the burning from the radiation that they were trying to do to me to damage my healthy cells even more. I've been off that for 4 months, and so you gotta really think about it, how long it took to form and how long it's going to take to break it down. And you'll see more of that rebuilding, more of that regeneration after the detox, after things have been cleaned out, after the hardened mucus. I mean, who knows how hard that mucus was? I mean, how much it's going to have to take to get it all out of my stomach. Getting the lymphatic system moving. I am, working on getting my body moving, getting my body on the walks every day, getting on the trampoline, getting you can do the yoga move, the restorative yoga of the legs up at the wall. You lay on a flat surface or a mat. I've been doing it on my bed. Put your feet up a wall and do that for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's a great feeling just to get that drain from your feet. You're on your feet all day, and the lymphatic system just, getting it going, getting rolling. So that's a nice way to just, get it going even more. Um, Dietary, like I said, grapes, grapes, grapes. Every 2 hours I'm having a meal of grapes, so it's quite often because it's a grape, it's a fruit that doesn't take very long to digest. I'm having lots of frequent meals, grape juices in the day and the night, having my lemon water, fresh squeezed lemon water in the morning, giving more of that sort of alkaline ash in my stomach, and keeping myself clean, just pure. I know I'm going to need to be on the grape diet for about another week or so, so it's not that bad. Enjoy the journey, man. You gotta love the journey that you're on. Be patient with it, and if you need some support with it, take a little tea. I have a little alkaline tea, or I have a little marshmallow leaf and root tea that sort of soothes my stomach a little bit from all of that work that's going on in there. So, have the supports available to you. It's not there's no shame in having to take a little time off, take a little tea. Even on the grape diet, I know I'm really, really tired of some of the discomfort. I am allowed to have some dried grapes. So I'm eating some raisins on 2 occasions, and it's perfectly okay. So I'm going to be seeing my detox specialist in a couple of weeks, doing my renewed iridology testing done, and another eye photo just compared to the old one and see how much progress has been made. Getting my blood pressure taken, which is really the adrenal and the renal glands, getting them read, how well they're doing, or hopefully they're doing better, because my adrenals were still quite low, but my renals were good. So getting my new readings for the adrenal glands, I'm really looking forward to. And I'm seeing my GP tomorrow, so I'm not really seeing him because I want to get any advice from him. He's still from the whole, I don't know, brainwashed sort of practice of treating symptoms in big pharma, and not being able to understand acid or alkaline and lymphatic system, just what is it? I mean, he's going to look at my weight loss and say, oh my gosh, we need to start eating more. You never feed an illness. And what they're feeding in hospitals, let me tell you, it's not just the advice that you got about nutrition, but when you're in a hospital, just watch out. They were feeding me coffee, tea, cereal with milk, and not just plain cereal. It was a Raisin Bran, which is coated with sugar, and bran flakes that were really high in sodium. So what are we doing with our lives if we're putting our health into the hands of these people? Okay, just what are we doing? And then realizing you're feeling worse afterwards, that's all dietary related. My brother-in-law, he's working out. He's just turned 60. He's working out with weights, and he's pumping up, and he's red in the face, and he wants to spend time building his body and looking sexy and looking good. What is he doing with all the lactic acid that he just built up? He comes upstairs, and he goes and has a meal full of acids. So your body, it just got this overload of lactic acid from the workout, which quite frankly you don't need to be building up all these stacked muscles to survive, and compounding it with more acids from the food that he eats, because he was eating deep fried spring rolls, he was having roasted chicken, he was having starchy white rice, he was having deep fried falafel balls, white pita bread. I mean, there was absolutely nothing I could eat at this party I saw some fruit at the end of the meals, and at the end of all the the, the fruit platters were put out. There was dessert, but there was a bland-looking kind of cantaloupe and honeydew, and I literally just blended into the tablecloth, and like nothing that was rich and lush and colorful that was drawing people to it, and highly doubt that they were organic fruits either. And I went to the next party, and it was the exact same food. It was Mediterranean, falafel balls, pita bread, hummus, tahini, tabbouleh. My God, white rice with lentils in it. Like, I just stayed far, far away from that part of the house. And when dessert came, um, there was my good friend was making something raw for me, or like carrot cupcakes, but I can't eat them because it's coconut based and it was carrot, and I'm not really eating vegetable right now, and I stuck to my grape juice, which was in my thermos all night long. Just my grapes and my thermos of grape juice was just was enough for me, and I stayed far clear of that area of the house in both parties. So thank you for willpower. And in the past, I would have loved to have a tabbouleh salad. I would have loved to have a big giant falafel ball. That's a thing of the past. That was acid-based foods that I was witnessing, and I can't go back to those foods. Tabbouleh salad, I would have had the parsley, sure, but not in those, not with the bulgur wheat in it, not with those very acidic tomatoes. I'm really trying to start, and not trying, I'm actually succeeding in just reformulating all the recipes in my head and what kind of foods I will be preparing in the future. There's going to be a lot more fresh fruits, more vegetables that are raw, lemon juice. I mean, staying away from vinegars. I'm going to stay away from acidic foods. Tomatoes, and keep it, some orange tomatoes are okay, I just really making sure that tomatoes are not in that state of cooked and, overripe when they're acidic. But that's no one understands how acidic. I threw up on those kinds of tomatoes just 3 weeks ago. I was at a party, I had cherry tomatoes, I thought I was okay. Everything came up. Acid. My stomach recognizes acid right away now, and I went upstairs to that same party, and it all came out. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not just dreams or wishful thinking or hopes and desires. This is actually truth. This is actual truth, and I would like all of you guys to open your eyes and see how your lifestyles, your habits, your eating habits have really changed your health. Changed you from being healthy to unhealthy, from unhealthy to healthy. Like, it just has such an impact. What you put in your body is what you become. Okay? So, I'm loving this journey. I'm just giving you my updates. Day 8 on the grape diet, day 28 on the raw food diets. It's incredible. It's an incredible journey, and I want you guys to stay strong, and figure out where you want to, what side of life you want to live on. What are you going to tell your doctor on your next visit? I'm going to be talking to him more about, do you know about this? I'm going to be, as I did the last time, educating him more and giving him chapters of this book, or giving him a look at that next book, resource, and look at what Dr. Brandt had talked about back in the 20s. Like, she cured herself by diet alone. She did not want to go for surgery. She flat out refused, and she had a very aggressive tumor, fibrous tumor in her stomach, and like that is at a more serious level than what I had. or had, you know, now that it's already breaking down and I'm healing myself. You know, she got back to the whole regenerated state by going on a grape diet and a grape juice diet, and then phasing in fruit vegetables, which are the tomatoes, the cucumbers, and avocados, and things like that, and then phasing in some raw, but always a raw diet by the end of your journey. So back then they didn't have the herbal supports, you know, look what she was able to do for herself. And then help others. She cured other people right here in New York City. Not here, but not far from here. And, you know, I just watched another Dr. Morse video just now, and it was loaded up 2 days ago, about this wonderful mom here in Canada who was curing her little guy, her 7-year-old son, who was just ravaged by this horrible neuromuscular disease. It's cerebral palsy, but it's also another neurological disorder too that's very, very rare, only 35 cases in the world. And she's curing her son, you know, against medical advice, telling them that he's going to die. He was going to die anyway. He had a death sentence since he was born. But she's curing him with a raw food diet and juicing and the herbs and the fruit, which is just giving him so much life, so much electricity, just exploding into him, that he's straightening up his spine, that he's got more focus in his eyes, that he has only a couple of seizures now a day instead of 100 a day, and being able to look at his mom and follow her around the room and, you know, smile a little bit, and all his organs and systems in his body are working and flushing, and what this mom is doing, you know, for her little guy, and focusing on it so well and getting him curing him and rebuilding his body, rebuilding his mind, and one day he's going to have speech. It's just unbelievable, and I think it's a Luke's story. It's on Facebook. Mother's name is Sam, and boy's name is Luke, and he's 7 years old. He was 20 pounds when it started. 20 pounds at 7.5. You can imagine how small and frail he was, and just hypotonic and just unable to move and stretch. And his spine was extremely scoliosed. He is up to another 15 pounds more, and I was just crying through the video how amazing this mom is, and how steadfast and firm and strong she is, and doing it for her little boy. It's very inspiring. You can pay it forward in so many ways for people in your family. Like I'm trying to, friends who are coming to me all the time for advice, and how do I get in touch with this detox specialist, and what you use to get off your prescription drugs, and how are you changing your diet, and little tips and strategies about how to get the best fruit. Like I'm getting so many requests and just questions, and I'm not asking people to do anything, but they're coming forward and they're asking and they're curious, and so it's what I do now, and I'm really blessed to have this journey that I'm on, and the people around me that have supported my journey and have fed my journey, and I'm continuing to push pay it forward, so I'm loving it. I'll keep you posted on what's going to happen in my next week of the grape diet, and then I'm going to enter stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 of the grape cure by Dr. Brandt, and look forward to that. You guys take care of yourself, and I really hope that you're doing well, and that you are getting back to your best health and your best vitality for 2019, and get on that road. You will never regret it. Okay, talk to you soon. I love you guys.